What's up, everyone? It's Christina with Miss Motorhead, and I'm coming at you today with our second one-on-one interview with my girl Leah. And just wanted to let you know that this is our second interview, and we're new to this. We're constantly trying to figure things out. We kind of moved the couches a little bit, trying to get that comfortable feel. But I'm open to comments or feedback. So if you guys have any suggestions, or when it comes to questions, if you have things that you would like us to ask, feel free to leave those on our video comment feed. We really appreciate anything and everything that you are willing to throw out there. Because like I said, we are new to this. So so let's get into it. I'm super excited. Again, this is my girl Leah. She's my Subi chick. I've known her for, I don't know, maybe almost 2 years now. Yeah. And she's pretty rad. So let's have Leah tell us a little bit about herself.
Hi everyone, my name is Leah, otherwise known as Sonic_STI 2018 on Instagram. I born in Canada, moved to California in 2006, and I'm rooted here. It's far too sunny to ever move home back to the rain. Sorry, my Canadian family up there, but I'm not coming back. I've known Christina, like she said, for about 2 years now. We get along really well. We do a lot of stuff together. I drive a 2018 Subaru STI named Sonic, hence my Instagram name. Kind of since the last time I was on Miss Motorhead, I've kind of got my fingers in a whole bunch of other stuff that I'm sure we'll talk about. But for the most part, I'm still loving my car. It's gone through a few iterations and some hiccups, which we can also talk about. So I'm really excited to be here, and thank you, Christina, for having me.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way. So Leah just mentioned what kind of car she has. So we're going to kind of dive into a little bit about her history in cars. So tell us about maybe your first car or what your dream car was back in the day.
So my first car was, oh gosh, it was a seafoam green 1978 Buick Skylark. It was ugly as sin, but it was free, and it made it so that I didn't have to like get my mom to drop me off at school and pick me up. So that was, it was the way to go. But my dream car was, a CRX, which I think we may have alluded to a little bit in our last video. Since that video, I now have a 1989 Honda CRX SI. We picked that up in March, basically due to some tragedies that happened with my Subaru. So we've been fixing that up, put a new engine in it, redid all the suspension, looking at potential new seats and maybe get it on the track. We'll see. But that was my dream car. And growing up, I grew up in the garage with my dad. I was always hovering over, watching him work on my cars, learning how to change a flat tire, learning how to change my oil. Granted, I've never actually had to do those things because I've been fortunate enough to have someone help me with those. But actually lately I've been getting into more of my own modifications and working on my car myself, just because I want to learn how to do it. I want to know how to do it and not always be that person that has someone do it for them. So that's kind of where I came from with my cars. It's in my family. It's something that I feel passionate about, and kind of that I'm ingraining into my child. Like, you're gonna like cars, damn it.
Yeah, and I've heard that she's kind of taken reins on the car, right? Like she's thinking that's gonna be her car. Yeah,
the CRX. She's like, that's my car, and I was like, but I haven't even really driven it yet. You've already claimed it, so yeah, which is good. She's gonna learn to drive a manual. She'll be on the track in no time.
Too funny.
Yeah.
So track, you said, so the plans are to take it on the track.
I would like to.
Yeah.
Just because I want to drive a different car on the track. Driving the Subaru on the track, it's different. It's an all-wheel drive. and you have to kind of gauge the front end and the back end and what tends to take over, where, the SI or the CRX it's a front wheel drive. So it's a whole different experience. And, being on the track in my Subaru, I've been chased by Miatas. The last time we were at the track, I was being chased by our CRX, and it's like, I want to be that person that's chasing the Subarus this time. So the goal is to get it on, at streets maybe, and see how it feels. I need to take it through some canyons first and kind of get my bearings. I mean, it's manual steering, so it's different than the automatic steering, and it's smaller. I mean, you whip that thing around corners, it's like a go-kart. It's crazy. So it'll be fun though.
Yeah. So majority of the time you're driving Sonic, right?
Yes. Yeah, it's my daily.
Your daily. Yeah. What other cars do you have? Do you have any other cars?
We have a 1991 Jeep Wrangler, and then my husband has I'll screw this up. It's like a 2002 or a 2004. I don't know, one of the two. Infiniti G20. So we have 4 cars. My daughter has a go-kart, and then I would still like one more. I mean, technically, my husband's kind of taken over like 3 of the 4 cars. So, I'm a truck person too. I used to have a Tahoe, and I kind of want a truck again. So it's like I'd like to daily a truck and maybe keep the miles down on Sonic. I mean, I'm pushing, 75,000 miles on my car. So
right. Yeah.
I mean, as I said, if I ever won the lottery, I would just buy a whole bunch of cars and a garage and, put me a bedroom in the corner. Like, I don't need a fancy house. I just want all kinds of cars. So that would be the goal.
Dream. A dream garage.
Right?
All right. So I have a question. So, I know a little bit about this because I was with you, but we both did our first track day together at Streets of Willow.
Yes.
You had Sonic, I brought the Legacy wagon, and so something happened. I know we haven't really discussed it, and I don't know how much you've discussed with other people, but tell us about that day.
So that was probably one of the worst days of my car life. We were at Streets of Willow, and I was on my last run with Sonic, and it was counterclockwise. I've always run Streets of Willow on clockwise, so it was a little different. And I had just redone the front and back sway bars. I put strut tower braces on, so I had beefed Sonic up so that there was less lean through the corners on the track. So I was pushing it a bit, but nothing that should have caused any kind of problems. And I was on my last lap, and I could hear this knocking, and I was like, that doesn't sound good. That's not normal. So I actually I exited off the track early, and it kept getting louder, and I was like, this is not good. So I pulled up, and my husband was there, and a friend of ours was there, and I rolled down my window, and I was like, do you hear this knock? And they're like, yes. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, yeah, this is what everybody must be talking about.
I remember we were all panicked because we were all hovering around your car figuring out what is going on. What is that noise? That sounds scary. What is it?
Yes. And so, we turned my car off, and, one of our friends, he's a mechanic. He works on Subarus, and he's like, I'm pretty sure this is, rod knock. He's like, I don't think you got much hope in this going away. And I was like, shoot. Okay, I didn't say shoot, but you can all figure out what I said. So we decided we'd attempt to try and, limp home. I drove it out of Willow Springs, but my nerves were so shot. And after being, on the track all day, it's draining in of itself. And I was like, I can't do this. So I asked my husband just to drive it, and I was behind him on the freeway, and all of a sudden I see him slowly starting to go over, and I was like, oh no, I know what happened. And at that point, my car had pretty much seized, overheated, and died on the freeway. So there was about 6 of us in line on the side of the freeway trying to make sure that we didn't get run over while we pushed my car off the freeway into a parking lot. So that we could get a tow truck to bring it home.
Right.
But it was awful, being my daily, and, I'm so passionate about cars. It was like, I was sick to my stomach. I was so out of sorts. I was shaking. Like, the shock that I felt from that was like nothing I've ever felt before. And, you know, I think it's something when you are that passionate about cars that, you know, it's like one of your family.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a kid.
And it is.
It's your kid.
It is. I mean, I think it costs more than my kid. So, you know, it ended up, you know, through trials and tribulations and dealings with, you know, Subaru, that I ended up taking my car to an independent shop. I took it to Bruno Spec Tuned, and we worked together and we rebuilt my engine. So we put in a Type RA engine block with forged pistons because we felt it would be, you know, stronger, would last longer.
Yeah.
And then we figured, you know, at that point, why not just make it a little bit better? So, you know, we put in an intake and did a couple other things to kind of just beef it up a little bit. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but, you know, it's...
New clutch too, right?
Yes, new clutch. So I was like, hey, Bruno, you know, since I've got my car in pieces, can you upgrade my clutch? So I actually installed a Stage 2 clutch on my car. And let me tell you, that's like learning to drive manual all over again. I was like stalling my car left, right, and center. And I was like, I feel like such a noob. This is not good. But I think now I've kindly got it, like, you know, the ratio between the two. So, you know, I've got enough modifications now that I think I'm good, but I'm always searching for car parts.
Right.
So.
Yeah, story of our life, right?
Right.
Always searching for car parts. When the money allows.
Exactly. And they're not cheap.
Right. Crazy. Well, now people know kind of what happened. Yes. And that was March, right?
That was
March of this year.
Yeah. So, I mean, kind of what happened was I ordered new wheels. So y'all have probably seen that Sonic's got white wheels. So I ordered these wheels a little while before track day, and the day before we went to the track, my wheels came in and I was like, yes. So wheels came in, go to the track, then we're gonna get the wheels put on. Well, that didn't happen. So I had these gorgeous white wheels sitting in my garage for like 3 months while my car was being fixed. I don't think it was 3. No, it was about 3 months. So I ceramic coated them myself. You know, I made them all ready to go. So, you know, everything happens for a reason.
Right.
But
yeah, you actually had a lot of stuff but you put on your car. 'Cause didn't you also, you won a diffuser, right? Didn't you win?
I did.
Yes, in a contest. So you put that on.
Yes, I won a diffuser.
And then there was something else you put on your car, I thought.
Well, I put on a rear strut tower brace.
Yeah, right.
And then I just recently bought a new carbon fiber front lip.
Yes,
to match the rear diffuser that I won from Subi Speed.
Yes.
And then I recently just installed the Dark Matter X short throw shifter in my car.
Yes. So let's go into this real quick here because you are a busy lady.
I am.
There is a lot going on in your life. I can't catch up to you. I mean, there's so much stuff going on. You have a ton of sponsors. You work with possibly Dark Matter X. And so let's kind of talk about all of these projects and sponsors and things that you have going on.
Sure. So the whole sponsorship thing kind of started a little bit out of left field. So one of my first sponsors was Rev Match Clothing Company, and they reached out to me to see if I'd be interested. And it was, you know, something I hadn't really thought about. And I was like, well, sure. I mean, they've got car-inspired car clothing. You know, it's kind of cool. I mean, check my shirt. It's
loving it.
Looking like my car. So I started working with Rev Match, and then it kind of branched out from there. I had always been interested in the Subi High brand. You know, they're this family-owned company in Hawaii that has Subarus, and
they have
they're
really
just
cool designs.
Really cool designs, really genuine, nice people. So, you know, they eventually, you know, asked me if I'd be willing to become part of their family. So I picked, you know, I work with them, and I work with Blow My Bubbles Inc. You know, she's got some great designs. So, you know, Tina and I talk back and forth about, you know, different types of, you know, designs and what we can do. And, you know, I've got a sticker on my car that says, my driving scares me too. And, you know, it's very true of how I drive. You know, it's like you get in, you sit down and you hold on because you never know what you're going to get. And then what else have I got? Oh, I have another one. It again was one of those random ones where the Bonobo products, they create custom push start button covers.
right,
And
yeah.
so they created me a custom Sonic logo that matches my shift
So
knob.
cute.
And
I love it.
I love it. It's perfect. So, I've got those. And then I'm not sponsored by, but, Dark Matter X reached out to me not long after I got my car back and asked me if I'd be willing to test their prototype of their short throw shifter. And, I kind of debated it because I was running an aftermarket short throw shifter. And I was like, I like my shifter, but, this design is so different. And, I talked it over with my husband and, he's like, yeah, this is pretty badass. He's like, why not?
Yeah.
So I started kind of talking with them, and we installed the short throw shifter on my car. And it's got multiple settings, so we tried different settings to see how I liked it, to try and get it as close to the shift and the throw that I was used to for the aftermarket one I had. And it's grown a lot from that. So I've done testimonial videos for them. In their promotional video, which was like probably one of the funnest things I've ever done in my life, other than, being on the track. But we created this promotional video where it had me, driving through the canyons and, shifting and taking pictures. And it was like, I'm in this like legit car commercial.
Yeah, it was cool. Legit car commercial status. Like, seriously, that was a badass video.
It was fun because it was like I was driving, and then I had like two of the media guys in the back, and one of them's like controlling the drone that's like following me while I'm driving, and the other one's like taking pictures of me shifting.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
It was pretty funny. And then at one point there was like an S curve that I had to go through, and everyone was standing on the side, and I'm like, I really hope I get the shift right and I don't run all these people over, because this would not be very good. But it was fun. It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And what are some of the future plans for that? Do you know?
Well, we're still, I'm still helping them with a lot of their, promotional stuff. I recently accepted kind of a position, I guess you could say. So I'm working with Dark Matter X now. I'm their social media manager. We're kind of working on trying to find ways to, get the Subaru community involved in this new product. So it's been a bit of a challenge. It's been fun. You get to talk to a lot of interesting people, and just kind of being involved in something at the ground up.
Yeah.
is it's different. It's not something I've ever done before. So you kind of get to that point in your life where you want something different. I mean, you have your day job. Your day job's your day job.
Yeah.
But it's the stuff that excites you. So,
Right.
and this is something that, I'm behind.
Right.
And it's like, I don't think I could have taken any kind of role with this if it wasn't a product I was behind. But
Right.
being that, I feel it's solid, it's genuine. Eric's a great guy. He's smart as can be. So, I think it again, everything happens for a reason. So, I think it was just something that is meant to be at this point in my life. Yeah.
So we have Subi Fest coming up in October, and I've heard Dark Matter is going to have a booth.
Yes.
So you're going to be working the booth?
I am. I'm going to be working the booth for Dark Matter X. Sonic's going to be there too. So we're going to have, my car there with the, I picked a custom red shaft from my shifter. And then we're going to have some of the other, features and some merchandise there. So, just so people can come learn about it, see it, maybe have the ability to test it out. I'm not saying anyone gets to sit in Sonic, but if you talk nice to me, maybe. But yeah, it's something different, I mean, I've gone to Subi Fest. It's kind of one of these events that, the Subaru community really enjoys it. Last year we had the drive-through one, and when it wasn't the same, but it was still, it was an event that brought everybody together.
Right. Yeah.
So between that, and then I think with the 805 Subarus, we're gonna have a booth there. So I'll probably hop over to that one.
Yeah.
And stop by
Miss Motorhead. Yeah, Miss Motorhead will be having their first booth.
Yes.
In the hopes of meeting other women and bringing more women into our tribe of awesome car chicks. And it'll be nice to be able to support some of the girls that currently are in our club, basically. And so I'm looking forward to that. So yes, we're going to have the Miss Motorhead booth, and then we are also going to have the Lane Drifters apparel booth right next to that, where we'll be selling all of our merch and stuff. So it's going to be a busy day.
It's going to be really busy.
But I know people are going to be super excited to meet you, because there are a lot of people excited to meet you.
Which is like way anything I could ever imagine. But
it's so cool. I mean, I think it's awesome that a lot of people follow you. You have a lot of followers on Instagram. And I think, honestly, a lot of people just like seeing a very strong, positive chick who knows what she wants and goes for it. And it's inspiring. So I think that's rad. I love it. And again, while you're my second interview, so thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I think it's awesome. All right, so what else? What else is going on in this crazy life of yours?
So aside from my car life and my social media life, which is, all consuming in of itself, I do have a day job. I'm a CTO, which I tell people and they look at me like I have no idea what you're talking about. So I'm a chief technology officer. I'm a IT director for the local government out here. And so my day is included in nerd stuff, working on computers, kind of managing that whole thing. And that's challenging, just kind of being in this role. Other than that, so I go for my day job, and then I go to the gym. So I'm a workout fanatic. I kickbox. And I've kind of elevated that. I do pad training, so I do one-on-one training. Not that I ever want to get in the ring, but maybe tomorrow I'll decide I want to. But it's really fun just being able to spar with somebody. So I do that, and then other than that, I have my family life with my husband and my daughter, who probably hardly see me compared to everybody else in the world. And then I think that leaves maybe half an hour a day for me to watch a TV show, and usually by then I fall asleep. So,
but also too, on top of all of this craziness, you help run 805 Subarus.
Oh yeah, I do that.
So let's talk a little bit about 805 Subarus.
I do. So we talked a bit in our first video. So Raven, who started 805 Subarus, had approached me to just be part of the group, and she's actually the one that got me into being on the track by kind of sharing some of the events that were going on. And then probably, I want to say, no more than 10, 12 months after I started taking over the social media for 805 Subarus. A lot of the pictures on there are photos that I've taken at events that we have. We've done some photo shoots, which we need to do another one. But I run the social media there, and maybe I need to start my own business. I don't know. So I enjoy it. I thoroughly enjoy it. It's not like an additional chore for me. I enjoy the creativity. I like creating all the flyers and the photo editing, and I'm trying to get into a little bit of video editing. I created a TikTok account. It makes me feel real old. But, I created a TikTok account purely initially just so I could get music added to my videos. Mm-hmm. But, it's kind of evolved a little bit, and I enjoy it, and it's not taking me like hours to create one 25-second video. So, I'm playing with that a little bit more. But, 805 Subarus is a good group. We have a big, diverse range of people from high school aged people through to older people. Mm-hmm. I better watch what I say. I know, because right? I'm probably in that older people category. But it's we're like a family. Yeah. We get together, and it as it's like we all drive Subarus. The Subaru community is just, it's so welcoming in that everybody is just kind of they're welcoming.
Right.
You know, it's just
very
it doesn't matter-
non-judgmental,
Yeah.
and everybody's got different builds, and everybody appreciates everybody's time
Exactly.
and effort in everything that they do with their cars. So
Exactly.
that's really cool.
Which is another thing I, added to my plate. So I applied for Subaru ambassadorship.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, one more thing to add to the plate, right? So, who knows what will come of that, but it's just one of those things where, when you feel passionate about something, you kind of want to share that with everybody.
You definitely fit the bill, so
I know, right?
I don't see how they can pass you up.
I just hope I wrote it correctly.
I'm sure you did fine. Crazy. Yeah, busy. And I know also too, on top of all this stuff that we're doing and with 805 Subarus, and we have that meet that we're working on. So tell everybody a little bit about what's going on.
So Christina and I were asked by that Subi chick if we would be interested in hosting a joint all-female car enthusiast car meet. She had one in Northern California, and she's recently relocated down here, so she wanted to do a similar event down here in Southern California. So we've been working with her to put together a meet that focuses primarily on female car enthusiasts, not just Subarus, but also kind of keep the male enthusiasts involved. Like, we don't want anybody to feel excluded, but as a female in the car industry, it can be challenging, it can be intimidating, and I think that's one of the things that, as a male in the automotive industry, it's natural. Guys know about cars. They click when they talk about it, right? And for being a female, you kind of always feel a little left out, or you may be worried about what you should say, shouldn't say. Am I gonna
being
say it
judged.
right? Exactly.
Yeah, right.
And it's one of those things that I think from a male perspective, they may not necessarily understand the worries that a female has. I know enough about cars, but there are times where I still feel intimidated.
Right.
I don't want to say certain things, or I say something and I get shot down by whether it's a male or a female, regardless. And sometimes I'm like, okay, said that one wrong, but it is what it is. So we've put together this car meet just so that it's a welcoming environment for females, and then families and men are more than welcome to come and check out our cars
Or
and
support their ladies' cars if they're rolling with them.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
right. Yeah.
So that's going to be coming up soon. I think it's going to be good, and we're going to have merch.
We're going to have a t-shirt, special t-shirt design that's just for that meet in particular.
Yep.
And we do plan on possibly doing another meet for the people who couldn't come to this one. I know it's in Ventura. A lot of people are coming from San Diego and possibly Northern California again. So there are definitely more meets in the future. I know with Miss Motorhead, that was one of the goals for us, was to have a meet of women drivers, so that they did feel comfortable coming out and not intimidated. And like I said, men are more than welcome to come and join and drive in with their ladies, or, park on the street and come walk in and check them all out. And I just think it's time for girls to feel comfortable. And if it's having a meet for a couple of hours, why not?
Exactly.
Why not offer that up and have some fun? Especially if, like, maybe in the future we can do a track day where we can say that it's all girls. I would never fully exclude anybody from a track day.
Yeah.
I think it's good that girls do get out on the track with guys. I think that would be a natural thing. And so, but it would be cool to have a majority of women out on the track at the same time. So that's something we would love to do in the future too.
That'd be fun.
So, but yeah, this meet's exciting. It's going to be September 11th.
Yes.
Saturday. And I think we had planned to do it 12 to 3. It'll be here in Ventura, Miss Motorhead headquarters. So yeah, maybe in the future we'll do them at other locations. So
it'll be good.
It'll be fun.
It's gonna be fun.
And again, the host really is that Subi chick. She's the one that it's kind of her thing, and she's asked us to co-host with her. So so it's exciting.
It'll be good.
So do you have any other plans, future plans, things that you would love to do that maybe you're just not on the plate yet, but
I don't know.
in the future? Yeah.
One thing that kind of started my whole track experience was my first track day with Accelerating Change. And I know that they're planning another event in California before the end of this year.
And I am not going to miss that one this time because I missed that first one and I was bummed out.
Yeah.
I wanted to drive a Porsche so bad. I have not driven a Porsche.
Well, I took my Subi to that one. So I was on the track with Subarus
Yeah.
at that one because you have to bring your own car.
Oh, that was the first. Okay, that was right. So they did a track day where you brought
Yes.
your own car.
And then
you did a second one that I missed, and that was the Porsche experience, right?
Yes, where I drove the
brand
Porsches.
new Porsches,
Four
right?
different kinds of Porsches, which just made me want a Porsche even more.
Right.
So maybe
bet.
I'd start saving for my next car, which should not be a truck, it should be a Porsche. I mean, or I could get both. I don't know.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
It would, right? I'll just pave my grass and it can just be an extension to my driveway. So I do want to do that. I'm kind of just going with the flow right now. I want to go home and see my family. I haven't seen my family since Christmas of 2019.
My
So my
goodness.
family lives in Canada, and I think it's as with everybody, but I'd like to go up to Canada to see my family. I've got some friends I've made through Instagram up in Canada. My sister has an STI that she's finally starting to modify, thank God. So, I want to go see her. I want to see her car. One of my friends up there, Renee Casper, the STI, I probably butchered that one, but he lives up there. He's going to help my sister out, and, he's going to hook me up with a Subi meet when I go up there. So, I kind of want to go back home to kind of meet some of the friends that I've made through Instagram.
Right.
And I'd really love to just drive my car up there.
Right. I bet. That would be a fun drive.
It would. And, I
just
often
maybe
debate
not during the winter, because then the Northern California and through
Grants Pass.
Yeah, and all that. Yeah. Oh.
I've done that drive so many times
Yeah.
in the winter months, and it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun, but
Well, so tell me, what is the car scene like in Canada? I've never been to Canada, so I'm not familiar with it.
Well, we don't live in igloos and we don't ride dog sleds.
Darn.
I know, right? The car scene, when I lived up in Canada, I wasn't really into cars as much as I am now. I mean, I drove a Jeep, so I did a lot of off-roading. But just from what I've seen and talking to people, I mean, there's a car scene up there. There's, your Japanese cars. You've got your muscle cars and then your off-roading type vehicles. So, it's there. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know if it's quite as widespread as it is here. Mm-hmm. There definitely wasn't as many type of car shows, even like the big name car shows that we have here. Like I'd go to the auto show, would see all the new cars, but something like Subi Fest or, the Japanese classic car show, I didn't really see many of them. They had some with like the older, like classic car shows and things like that. Because my dad, he was restoring a 1958 Ford Fairlane. I mean, the thing was gigantic. It took up the whole garage. And, we'd go to all these old car shows to look at all these old cars, which is where I fell in love with like, the Chevelle and the Shelby Mustang and, all those other cars, which will add to my arsenal of cars when I win the lottery. So it's there. I think it's just a little different than it is down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I'll have to check it out.
I know, right? But, cars, what I've noticed is just like the differences between like the models, like what, gets brought into California versus what gets, brought into Vancouver or brought into somewhere else in the US is, it's different. Like same year, same type of car, but, my sister's STI came with a short throw. It came with an oil cooler, and it's like, how'd you get all these things? My car didn't come with this. Like, I gotta buy all this stuff and put it on after the fact. So, it's interesting to see what they choose.
Right. So it would be cool if you could drive up there, because then you could take pictures with your sister.
I know.
Her cars.
Well, my sister was supposed to come down in October, and I don't know if that's going to happen because I don't think the border's open for them to come down.
Right.
But she was going to bring her STI down. I was like, yes, then we can take pictures because she's reluctant to put her car on Instagram, and I was like,
wow.
She's not as car enthusiastically. That's not even a word, but she's not into it as much as me. And you know, I have to laugh at her because after she got her STI, she's like, you know, this has terrible gas mileage. I'm like, I'm well aware of that. Like, why did you buy it? Like, so she drives her car, for those of you who have an STI, she drives her car in I mode. I think I've had my car in I mode, which is like interactive, good gas mileage, help you, you know, kind of conserve fuel type thing. I've driven mine in I mode maybe twice in its entire life, and it's never going back. But she drives hers most of the time in I mode. And I remember one time she's like, I put my car in like sport. She's like, wow, it's so much faster. I'm like, why do you think I drive mine in sport all the time? Like, keep it out of I mode. It's crazy, but it's good. You know, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah.
To take my car up there.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Meet her halfway.
Yeah.
I still want to go to Dirtfish.
Oh, right. So
I'll get there.
So many things to do.
I know.
Good thing we're still young.
Right? I'm not old yet.
That's right. Okay, I have a question about your car.
Okay.
Is there anything about your car that drives you nuts?
Oh. Well, initially it would never say happy birthday to me, but I figured that out because, the way I figured that out.
Well, some people probably don't even know that.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I didn't know for the longest time, but then when I found it, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that. So a couple weeks ago, I replaced my steering wheel. I bought a carbon fiber steering wheel. Actually, I won a $250 gift card from Rally Sport Direct. So I used that to pay for half of my new carbon fiber steering wheel that I put on. That I changed myself 3 times, I tell you, because it wasn't straight. But I had to disconnect my battery. And so when I was reprogramming it and I was setting the time, because I'm fanatic, my time has to be exact. If it's off, I'm like OCD. So I was like setting my time and I was like, wait a minute, birthday. Oh my gosh, this is where I can set my birthday on my car. So I put my birthday in there and then I set the anniversary date for when I bought Sonic, and I was like, now nobody can say I don't have my birthday in my car. And then I was sitting there, I was like, you know, I kind of remember seeing this and going, who's gonna have their car say happy birthday to them? Like, really, that's weird. And now here I am setting my birthday.
Well, what's funny is on the Facebook, one of the Facebook groups that we follow, I know you're on there too, it's the Subi Ladies.
Oh, yes.
Facebook group. I see people post pictures all the time. They're like, oh, my car said happy birthday. Or they put a picture and it has this cute little happy birthday, and like, that's really cool. And unfortunately, when you have an older car, you don't get that luxury.
Yeah, I know, right?
But that is pretty cool.
It was pretty fun. But what bothers me about my car, I don't really know if there's anything.
That's great.
I mean, I think it's mostly my ability to still drive my stage 2 clutch, getting better. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty solid.
That's good.
I mean, I've got it pretty dialed in.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
And how long have you had it now? Since brand new, right?
Since brand new, so still don't need smog check. So I think I'm 4 years.
4 years.
Now. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's been a wild ride. I mean, it's come a long way. Like when I go back and I look at, when it was stock and, the little things I've changed over time and to what it looks like now. It's
funny too, because I still remember the day that I saw you driving for the first time. I was leaving work and I remember I had to get gas at the gas station, and I was pulling out of the gas station. I saw you turn the corner and I'm like, whose car is that? I didn't even realize it was you. And I think I had already followed you probably on Instagram. And so I remember trying to hurry up and get up to the stoplight so I could get next to you. I took a picture of you, and I think I posted it on like 805 Subarus or something. And that ever since then, we see each other all the time now.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was hilarious because I, of course, was like trying to follow you. I'm like, who is this? Who is this person? And then, of course, now it's like I see you probably at least once a week.
Right, I know. And now my car's a little more noticeable. Once I put the white wheels on, it kind of adds that element of.
Well, that's the thing. There is a lot of like WRXs and STIs in Ventura and Oxnard, and when I see one driving, it's the decals that help me determine who's who.
I know, right?
Or the wheels. So yeah, now I totally got you down. I know who it is, and I see you driving, so it's all good.
It's I get that in CB too. It's like, I'll be like, someone's like, oh, I seen you. I'm like, where? You know, because I get around, like I'm in Long Beach, or I'm like, I drive all over the place. It's my daily driver, hence why I have 75,000 miles on my car. Yeah. But yeah, it is the decals, because I'm like, okay, whose car is that? It's either, okay, license plate. Yeah. I try to remember those, or, you know, it's fun. I mean, I love seeing everybody's, you know, custom builds. And I was really bummed that I didn't get to make it to Subi Works this year.
Yeah. I know because you weren't feeling well.
No.
I was sad that you weren't there.
I know.
Nobody was there.
I know.
Well,
it was
I say nobody, but most of the 805 Subi's crew were either sick or visiting family or working.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was interesting.
That was a tough one. I had this whole, like, very busy weekend planned and came down with a head cold. Not COVID. COVID. I came down with a head cold, you know, and I had, you know, planned to, like, meet up with, you know, a lot of new people and kind of see everyone at Subi Works, and didn't make it. Right. But, you know, the next one. Yeah. You know, maybe we need to take a trip down to San Diego and go to the San Diego
I would love to go to the San Diego
because, you know, we're doing a meet with 805 Subarus and Zen Society.
That's right.
We're setting that up in September.
That's right.
So that should be fun too.
Right. Yeah. Lots of fun stuff coming up.
I know.
It's crazy.
There's always something going on.
Okay, so another curious question is...
Sure.
What car would you not be caught dead driving?
A minivan. I don't even have to think about that one.
Oh, too funny.
Funny story on that one. So a friend of mine, he recently got a minivan, and he rolled up to a car meet one time, and this was right after I got Sonic back, and he rolls up in his minivan, and he's got on the side window in like tape, Subaru roadside assistance, and then on the front on his windshield, mimicking, I used to have an 805 Subi's banner, so mimicking that banner, he had 805 minivans on the front, and I'm standing at this car meet going, oh my god,
gosh, like, that's hilarious.
I can't believe this is happening to me right now. And so he knows that, like, minivans just make me cringe. I apologize to anybody that has a minivan. No, they're very functional.
I totally feel you. I have always said from day one, I just could never get a minivan. And what's funny is when I go on girls trips with my girlfriends who are not really car girls, they usually want to get a minivan because it fits everybody nice and comfy and it's got room for luggage. Right. But I'm usually the one driving on the trips, and I just do not like minivans. Everything that embodies a minivan is just not what I like. But to be honest, recently on some of the ladies' Facebook groups, there's been some meets. There was one in Santa Barbara.
Really?
And it was a minivan meet, and these minivans were badass. I have to say.
No way.
They were slammed. Some of them had body kits on them. I mean, they had wheels on them. Like, they were pretty sweet.
I mean, I guess you could do up a minivan.
That's right. So it's possible.
But I will
possible, but yeah.
No, that's why I had a Tahoe, because I was like, that is the closest thing to a minivan that I would drive.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to Hawaii with my sister's family, and we had a minivan, and I refused to drive it, and most of the time I hid in the back because I was like, I just don't want to be seen in this thing. It's something I just can't do it.
Too funny. I think I even saw an Instagram video, or maybe it was YouTube. I don't even remember. It was a couple years ago, and it was somebody who was drifting a minivan.
Oh, I believe it.
I would do that in a minivan. I would. Yeah, exactly.
We went to, actually with my same friend who did the roadside assistance, we went to Fuel Fest a few months back, and we went in his minivan, and I didn't know he had a minivan at this point in time because the one he came before was actually a rental. But he like rolled up in front of his house in this minivan, and I was like, oh, no way. You want me to ride in this minivan to go to Fuel Fest, which I wanted to take my car to. And then it's comfortable. And I was in the back, again, hiding. But we got to park on the track. So the track that they do, actually, what movie? I just watched a movie. Oh, Fast and the Furious. Mm-hmm. So the new Fast and the Furious, that opening scene where they have like the back in the day shot with like Dom and his dad, that track is at Irwindale, right? So we actually drove on that track, and we were supposed to kindly drive around the track and park. Well, my friend, he did track day with me. So we actually took a lap in his minivan at top speed around this racetrack before we parked. And I'm sitting there in the back making videos, and I'm like embarrassed, but I'm like, this is kind of cool at the same time.
Too funny.
It was really fun.
Oh,
it was really
man,
fun.
hilarious.
It's like the stuff that we do. It's like, you know, if I'm going to get in trouble, I'm going to get in trouble.
Right.
You know, I'm going to live.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's too funny.
Well, so anything else you would like to share with their viewers?
I don't know.
The time is almost up.
Time is almost up, and I've been yapping. I don't know. I think I just wanted to say that I really appreciate Christina, you know, having me on the show and kind of being there for me and helping me along. And, you know, everybody that follows me and interacts with me on Instagram, I have a lot of random conversations with people, and it's great. You know, the car community is wonderful. You know, I talk to people that have Subarus, who have, you know, all different kinds of cars all over the world, and it's like these relationships that I don't think I would have been able to build without having a Subaru to kind of kick me into gear.
Yeah.
So I just want to thank everybody for, you know, putting their time and effort into me, and, you know, to my sponsors for trusting me to like rep their brand and take my millions of selfies that I, you know, flood my story with, and, you know, just, you know, Dark Matter X for trusting me with their product, and, you know, trusting my abilities to help promote their product. And, you know, I'm kind of just starting, you know, and I think you'll see a lot more of me whether you want to or not. But
it's amazing to think that you're kind of starting, but you've just have done so much so far, and I think it's amazing. So I can only imagine how much further you're going to go.
I know, right?
I'm so beyond excited for you. I think it's going to be really cool, and I'm glad that I am by your side to experience it all.
Yeah, you come along with me. We'll get into some trouble together.
Yeah, I love it because we're usually on the same page about, like, you know, going fast and what we want to drive, and so it's great. It's nice.
I think we need to I need to get onto an autocross.
Yeah,
track.
We're going to be doing one pretty soon. I think in September we have one that's coming up. So
nice.
We're going to be doing that one, and I know our girl Dana wants to do it with us too, and I'd like to get our daughter in it, try and get her going on it. So yeah, pretty soon we'll do another autocross for sure. They're kind of fun. They're just very low key, but like exciting at the same time.
Well, and it kind of gives you the ability to feel your car.
Yep, exactly.
More, right?
The handling.
Yeah.
So I just can't wait to be able to drive a Miata or something on an autocross.
Oh, maybe I should take a CRX.
Yes, that would be fun. You could bring both.
I could.
You just sign up both.
Well, that's what I'll do. I'll take Sonic, and then I'll drive the CRX.
Yeah.
Which I'm still not ready to put Sonic back on the track. So.
Yeah, but autocross is easy because second, maybe third gear.
Yeah, true.
You don't need to worry about the speed so much on an autocross. So yeah, that'd be cool. Well, thank you so much.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Anytime.
You're awesome.
Thank
you. Maybe in the near future we'll have you back on. We can get more updates on what's going on.
Of course.
And maybe even do another group chat with all of us Subaru girls again. Because like our first video we did was you and Dana and Raven. So yeah, we'll have to do that again.
That'd be fun. Catch up to where we're all at.
Yes, definitely.
6 months later.
Yeah, definitely. So like I said in the beginning, if you guys have any feedback, any comments, you know, pretty much anything that would help us move along, because we're pretty new again at all of this, and having a really fun time along the way. And we do really appreciate everyone for watching and hanging on while we're learning the through the ropes, learning the ropes or whatever. Anyways, thanks again. Take care. Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.